Greetings fellow Decepticons, Soundblaster1987 here with another animation review mini vlog. Today I'll be looking back at one of my all-time favourite Disney animated series from the early 2000s, 2001's Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. It is truly a crime against Pixar that this series is not on Disney Plus yet at the time of recording this video. For those who don't know, Buzz Lightyear of Star Command was a 2001 animated spin-off from the Toy Story franchise, revolving around the character of Buzz Lightyear that the toy was based on his adventures across the galaxy with the, Space Ranger Corps, who are basically supposed to be like the Toy Story equivalent of the Green Lanterns from DC or the Nova Corps from Marvel, an intergalactic police force with a unified suit of armour, spacesuit type of appearance to their uniforms. So, although he was still voiced by Tim Allen in the Buzz Lightyear of Star Command The Adventure Begins VHS movie, which later got made available for DVD, Buzz Lightyear was then recast as Patrick Warburton for the main series itself, including Patrick Warburton dubbing over Tim Allen's lines when the original movie episode was split into 3 separate episodes from the main series itself. The main cast of this series are Buzz Lightyear, voiced by Tim Allen in the movie and Patrick Warburton in the series, the Pizza Planet Squeak Toy Aliens, or the Little Green Men, LGMs for short, voiced again by Patrick Warburton, doing a sort of Alvin and the Chipmunk style voice modification to make them more high-pitched and speaking in unison. Nicole Sullivan, better known as the voice of Shigo from Kim Possible, plays Buzz's second-in-command, Mira Nova, the princess of a planet called Tangier that later became a Star Command operative to thank Buzz Lightyear for saving her family. Evil Emperor Zurg, voiced by Wayne Knight, who you might know as Dennis Nedry from the Jurassic Park films. Buzz's sworn enemy and the main villain of the entire franchise. Then there's Buzz Lightyear's commanding officer, Commander Nebula, voiced by Adam Carolla. Gruff, no-nonsense, old man with a peg leg and a slightly modified spacesuit with a massive gold Star Command signature symbol on the chest, compared to the Buzz Lightyear uniform style design of the other spacesuits for the Space Rangers. Then there's Booster Munchapper, the former janitor of Star Command who became a Space Ranger at the end of the movie, and XR, the Experimental Ranger, a robot created by the, LGMs to replace the alleged death of Buzz Lightyear's former partner, Warp Dark Matter, who ended up becoming a sort of Winter Soldier type, undercover agent working for Zurg the whole time, even when he and Buzz were at the Star Command Academy together when they were younger. Warp Dark Matter is voiced by Diedrich Bader, who you might know as the voice of Batman from some of the DC animated projects, specifically the 2008 Brave of the Bold cartoon and the 2019 Harley Quinn series. So, yes, the main premise of this series is that Buzz Lightyear leads a ragtag team of new Space Ranger recruits of Mira Nova, Booster and XR to fight off the crimes caused by Evil Emperor Zurg and his robot army of Hornets. The Hornets are basically an army of drones designed after the B-1 battle droids from Star Wars The Phantom Menace, and coloured like a wasp. And the Hornets were originally supposed to respond to every command with the words, "Obey Zurg," but this was cut out to make them just a more intimidating, strong, silent type army of mass destruction. Zurg also has the insectoid pillbug type grub drones that work for him as basically the manual labourers and such, who are all basically just genetically engineered cowards that are so scared of Zurg that they'll continue working for him no matter how much he abuses them. And then there's the brain pods, the cybernetically augmented brain in a jar with mechanical tentacles on their arms, that are basically the, scientists and inventors of Zurg's evil army. A lot of these guys end up getting beaten up or smashed to pieces by Buzz Lightyear and his team on numerous occasions. There are other villains in the series, such as the, flirtatious Gravitina, who has a gigantic bulbous head with its own sort of mini rings and satellites and such around it. She's a mass criminal that keeps trying to flirt with Buzz Lightyear to get away out of trouble, the same way Catwoman does with Batman in various DC cartoons. Then there's the four-armed, self-duplicating bank robber Torque, who has the ability to clone himself and make an army of copies of himself at a moment's notice. Then there's the mysterious bounty hunter Shiv Katal, who is allegedly responsible for the peg leg Commander Nebula is left with. Although it turns out that Shiv Katal was actually Commander Nebula himself, going undercover as a bounty hunter, in an attempt to learn more about some of Zurg's top-secret organization type tricks and trying to undermine Zurg from the inside out. Then there's the vampire robot Nosfor A2 and the, wirewolf, robot werewolf. They used to be Buzz Lightyear's old friend at Star Command, Ty Parsak, until his spacesuit got corrupted by Nosfor A2's energy vampire powers and such. Obviously, Nosfor A2, spelled N0S-4-A2, is supposed to be a robot parody of the 1920s silent movie vampire Nosferatu, at least in the name and the attitude and such. Although the individual, organic life forms are not susceptible to his energy vampire bite, Zurg's Hornet robots, XR, and the Space Ranger spacesuits are susceptible to the energy vampire bite. Just as well, Mira Nova has the ability to ghost through solid objects because her own spacesuit turned against her in one episode when that happened. Speaking of XR, he also has a prototype older brother called XL, who was supposed to be the original XR prototype but went insane and ended up becoming a supervillain, who is one of the recurring threats of the series. There were 2 seasons of Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, and there are numerous forms of opening credits for this series that are set in the Toy Story universe, because the Buzz Lightyear of Star Command animated series is canon to both the Toy Story franchise as a whole and us in the real world as well. As is seen in the Buzz Lightyear of Star Command The Adventure Begins movie, when we see the same VHS we're already watching being brought in by the Green Army Men into Andy's bedroom after the events of Toy Story 2. I say it's after the events of Toy Story 2 because Jessie and Bullseye are involved. So, yes. Apparently the 2022 Lightyear movie was supposed to be a sort of documentary about the in-universe, real-world astronaut Buzz Lightyear that the animated series and the toy were based on. So, the original viewing order for the Buzz Lightyear franchise is the Lightyear movie, then Toy Story 1 and 2, then the Buzz Lightyear animated series, then Toy Story 3 and 4. And of course Toy Story 5 is coming out in this year, at the time of recording, so fingers crossed for that when it comes out. Like I say, it's sadly not on Disney Plus yet, despite numerous attempts by me and several other fans to get it included. I don't know why they put The Big Bang Theory on Disney Plus but not the Buzz Lightyear cartoon, but I digress. That concludes my review of the Buzz Lightyear of Star Command series. I'll leave a link in the description below to a playlist of reasonable quality YouTube videos for upload of the Buzz Lightyear series for those who want to watch it. Until then, I've been Soundblaster1987, thanks again for watching. My next video will be my Valentine's Day special on February 2025 monthly vlog, where I go over the evolution of the history of Optimus Prime and Elita 1's complex relationship, from the G1 female Autobot fighting on Cybertron in Prime's absence, to animated Black Arachnia, to the ruthless ruler of Caminus that Elita 1 became in the IDW comics, and much more. Then, after that, my next toy review will be the Toy Story 2011 Interactive Buzz Lightyear. Not the one that talks back to you when you talk to it, but the one that interacts with other toys from the same line via the toy detector infrared light on the abdomen. Till then, till all are one, to infinity and beyond.